Ready to roll? Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to a regular meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors. Today is Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. Are there any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions.
No additions. Thank you. Council, would you mind reading in the closed session items?
Not at all, Chair, members of the board. There are 4 items for your closed session.
Okay. Very good. We're back. And also, you're up. Or do we need to start over? No. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair, members of the board. You have Government Code Section 54957.6 basis for conference with labor negotiators. The agency designated representatives are Roman Noriega, Bill Begay, and Susan Carter. The employee organization is all units, including unrepresented employees, all classifications, but not elected officials. There is one existing litigation under significant exposure. One case, Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection D2, and 2 performance evaluations of your public employees under Government Code Section 54957. The titles of positions are County Librarian and Director of Human Resources. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any members of the public that have a comment on the closed session items? Seeing and hearing none, we will now move into closed session.
Transportation Development Act request for some funding from the staff. Do you want me to ask the question now or?
Well, yeah, you can ask a question. We
Okay.
may reply to you offline. This is public comment, so you can certainly ask for the comment, and then we could have one of our staff members answer you offline.
Okay. I direct you to page 88 of your agenda packet, where this agenda item is found. And I'm confused about the timing of the request and the timing noted on page 96. The fiscal year is just about over, and we are just now asking for funding for the fiscal year 2023. And I also noticed that the projects will be specifically identified during the development of the county's streets and roads maintenance and rehabilitation priorities. Is that really right, that we're just now starting to work on projects for 23, 24, and the year is just about over? And we don't have the projects identified yet? Is that accurate, or am I missing something?
All right. Thank you very much. Are there any other items or anybody else online that has a question
No other
regarding
comments.
consent calendar? All right. Thank you very
So
much.
somebody will be getting back to me or what?
Yeah, somebody will be getting back because at this time, it's not the appropriate time to answer the question. Thank you for your question, and somebody will be getting back to you.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no other items and we've heard from the public, we will now move on to our discussion items. The first item will be item 6A. Oh, yep. I will now accept the motion for action and regarding the
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McCauley,
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh,
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Chairman Poitras.
Yes,
Vote passes 4-0.
thank you.
Oh, did you want it? Never mind.
Okay. Yep. So we'll move on to item 6A.
Social Services Department. Presentation of a proclamation declaring April 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month.
Now it is. Good morning. Deborah Martinez, Director of Social Services and New Public Guardian. Thank you very much, Chairman, for allowing us this opportunity to acknowledge this important month of a child abuse awareness. It starts off this month. We will have a flag raising, and we are going to let our Madera County Child Abuse Prevention Council speak on that subject. Generally, we turn the floor over to the council. At this moment, though, I thought I'd remind you that the federal government did approve the FFPSA. It is the first time that they are actually funding prevention services, because generally child welfare, it seems ironic, but we're not funded really to a high degree for prevention services. Our funding is based on those that are in care. But as of last year, our program in Madera County was one of the first programs to be approved. And as soon as we have a system that will actually provide the details required by the federal government, we can start receiving 50% of any expenditures we have on prevention services. So that's very important. So I wanted to remind you about that plan is in place, and that our system that's from 1986, that is what our child welfare social workers utilize currently, is due to be replaced in October of 2026. So it's had lots of timelines that have been blown in prior systems, but this particular one that they are going with the vendor with the state, it looks to go on target. So we're crossing our fingers and our toes that we will have a new system for our social workers to better serve our community by October 2026. And that is when we will be able to have our matching 50% on any expenditures for prevention that we provide. But we have done some amount of prevention with the dollars that we have received from the state one-time only funds, and that has gone to concrete supports. A lot of times folks come to our attention, and it's really an economic situation. And so we're provided, cribs and mattresses and transportation assistance and those kinds of things that we call concrete. And we also have expanded a couple of different programs. And we are working very diligently with our tribal governments. And I'm going to let Nikki speak a bit to what those programs are.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing us to be here and speak on some of the work we're doing with the community. And currently, I am doing that work directly with our tribal communities who are very near and dear to me, as I am part of those communities. And some of that work we're currently doing is a Family Spirit program. We're helping them stand up those programs. Those programs go into the homes of community members and work directly with them to prevent child abuse, to prevent neglect, and to help parents really maybe get the help that they need that they aren't finding within the community, and connect them to other services. And so currently we are getting ready to train 2 of our tribes, North Fork Rancheria and Picayune Rancheria of Chukchansi Indians. And that will be happening in June, and they will start providing direct services immediately. So a little bit of progress right now. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
And then one item that I was remiss in referring to in terms of the funding is we have expanded our services with First Five to provide prevention services programs. For those calls that we received that really did not come to the realm of abuse or neglect, but there was a need there, we refer those folks to our First Five, as well as some other cash assisted families that come to our attention that could use some a kind of a warm handoff to maybe some other community-based organization. So we have an agreement with First Five, and that one is going very well. So now I'll go ahead and turn it over to Jennifer Coronado with our Board of Child Abuse Council.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jennifer Coronado. I'm with Victim Services. I'm so used to saying that. Today, I'm also with the Child Abuse Prevention Council. I just wanted to say that as far as victim services, about 80% of our children is our caseload for sexual assault. So April is also Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So I did wanted to kind of bring that into your guys' attention as well. And thank everyone for wearing teal today, because today is National Wear Teal for Sexual Assault Awareness. But I'll give it back to Iris in regards to child abuse. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Iris Salvatierre, and I am with the Madera County Child Abuse Prevention Council. And today I stand before you to bring your attention to two important matters: the Madera County Child Abuse Prevention Council and the significance of Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. The Madera County Child Abuse Prevention Council is a vital organization that aims to prevent child abuse and neglect in our community. The council works tirelessly to raise awareness, provide education, and support families in need. Our tireless efforts have made a significant impact in protecting our most vulnerable residents, which are our children. April is nationally recognized as Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. This is a time for us to unite as a community to join hands and raise awareness about the urgent need to prevent child abuse. It is a time to educate ourselves and others about the signs of abuse, the resources available, and how we can make a difference in the lives of our children. Child abuse is a harsh reality that affects children of all ages, backgrounds, and socioeconomic status. It can have devastating and long-lasting effects on their physical, emotional, and psychological well-being. Therefore, it is our collective responsibility to ensure that every child in Madera County grows in a safe, nurturing, supportive environment. During April, the Madera County Child Abuse Prevention Council organizes various activities and events to promote awareness and education. This includes a conference, which this year would be regarding teen runaways and teen sex trafficking. And we also do an outreach park event here at the Courthouse Park, where we invite the community to come out and get some local resources. Our program aims to empower individuals with the knowledge and tools to prevent child abuse. It is through these efforts that we can create community that prioritizes the safety and well-being of our children. In conclusion, let us recognize the importance of Madera County Child Abuse Prevention Council and the significance of Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. By working together, we can create a community that protects and nurtures its children and ultimately build a brighter future for all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
So unless there's any questions, that's all we have for you today.
Well, very good. Thank you very much. And I appreciate all the work that's being done in this really important area of child abuse prevention. First of all, I'd just like to mention that my lack of teal today is not that I lack, or it's not, it doesn't signal my lack of support for your efforts. It just means there's nothing that's teal in my closet. And
This
so
was teal when I pulled it out, and then nope, it's baby blue.
Likewise, I don't have teal either.
Yeah, that's a
I
tough.
searched and searched.
We're gonna have to do t-shirts next year, right? Whatever color they pick next
There you go.
year. That works.
Maybe I'll buy a tie that's teal. So, but anyway, thank you. And the second thing is, it's a question for you or the group. We talk about what we do in government and different agencies and so forth as far as preventing child abuse. What is one practical thing that a citizen of our county can do to participate in whether it be, we brought up the sex trafficking as well as the child abuse? What's one practical thing a citizen could do to participate in these efforts? Because I think a lot of times we hear these things, oh, they're doing this or doing that. Oh, that doesn't include me, but it really does. And what would that be?
I don't know what the official question, answer should be, but I will tell you that it's being actually a neighbor. Because the reality is donations are great. Folks who want to come and work for us, awesome. But in terms of an overwhelming thing that could happen that would really make a difference is if we actually just got to know our neighbors and got to see whether or not, do they have a need? Is there an issue going on? Being aware of our friends, the children, our children, their friends, how are things going? Getting more involved in our community. Sometimes things can get de-escalated basically just by having someone they can vent to so that they don't explode on the kiddos or they don't explode on their partners, or they can actually say, you know what, I think I need some help. And I was just talking to Dr. Paul earlier today because I had an investigation done on all of our kiddos that are in our ancient system of recording, but it took a while. But from 2021, for 21, 22, 23, we had 44 babies born positive. So they were born with a substance abuse and they had to be detoxified. And that's a horrendous thing for a baby to have to go through, right? And it was surprising that 38% of them were actually born here in Madera County, but that's a lot of babies. And so we have more than one infant every single month that is born positive. And so we really need a prenatal system of residential care, which I'm hoping will be a priority as we move forward. But be a neighbor, try to look and to see what's going on in your neighborhood and your children's families and in your own families, and not close our eyes to things that we know, hey, that's not okay. And at some point, I need to say something, I need to do something. And usually, sometimes you can do that directly and sometimes you have to call us. But I think it's really, really important that that's what everybody could do is be a friend, be a brother or sister and auntie, and really just kind of reach out.
Thank you. That's really great practical advice. Any of my colleagues, Supervisor?
No questions, but a statement on what can be done. And you talked about, X percentage of child abuse victims are also victims of, sexual assault. A lot of those sexual assaults occur when children stay at family members' houses. Cousins end up being the suspects, aunts, uncles, so those overnight stays where your children go, sometimes, most of the time it's with family. And most of the suspects are family members. They're not strangers. They're not someone that they don't know. They're generally very close to them. So be very cognizant of where your children stay, where they're sleeping, who they're actually interacting with, because those are when those situations take place. It's when they're out of your presence and they're with familial people. So I caution people letting their kids stay the night elsewhere. Not saying that, you shouldn't do it. That's obviously a parent's decision, but that's when these things happen.
Same is true with their substance abuse. But then in your own home, looking to see what sites they're visiting on their computers, on their phones, because sometimes they can get trapped because they're too embarrassed to say somebody trapped them into a relationship by then saying they'll expose them. And this has happened here in Madera often. I mean, right here, they'll just say, I've got something on you and I'm gonna let everybody know unless you continue to do what you're doing for me on the phone or on the PC. Pretty horrible stuff. So yeah.
Supervisor?
Yeah, I think the saying is if you see something, say something, right?
Mhm.
Real
Yeah.
simple. But I'm happy to see more resources being devoted to this cause. Yeah, I think it's really easy for our state and federal legislators to say we want to work upstream, but it's nice to see those resources actually coming down to the ground level so we can do that work, implement those programs with the tribes, work with First Five. And on that note, understanding that, we're not just looking at the first 5 years, we're also looking at, as we're growing up into teenage years and all those sorts of things. Are we doing anything to outreach and create more resources for those organizations that are working with the 5 and up populations? We've had some good conversations in the past about Mountain Area Youth Organization, the great work they're doing up in Eastern County. Have we looked at partnering with those organizations and doing similar activities as we're doing with First Five?
So you won't be surprised to know that it's a little frustrating because while the prevention dollars are there and the federal dollars will eventually get to us when we have a system because the federal government says we'll give you the 50% match, but you have to use a system that you're going to be able to trail it to the penny as to who it went to. And we don't have a system that can give them that information. So that's why we're having to wait to collect that 50%. But the worst part of it is it has to be on a specific clearinghouse of evidence-based practices. It has to be one of those. And if you go to that clearinghouse, you'll see that what they consider successful is pretty low bar, but they have to be published in 2 or more publications that this evidence-based program is on. So unfortunately, we have things that will work, that are working, that we know are working, that would work if we expanded it. And unfortunately, they're not an allowable prevention service where we would be able to expand our dollars. It's tough. So you have to, whatever you do, you have to start maybe small. I will tell you that we have a great independent living program with our child welfare. I mean, we've got 30, 40, 50 kiddos coming every single month at every event, right? But I'm actually going to be doing that with our cash assisted families, which we've never done. That program is historically is for the parents, is to help them get a job. The reality, though, is the legislation lets you spend it on the kids if the kids are going to, if fortifying the kids is going to make the family more successful, right? So we are drafting a program that is going to be to do a kind of an independent living program, but for our cash assisted family kiddos and not just those that are already child welfare involved. So there are going to be teenagers, 13 now and up, that are going to get the same kind of coursework that we do for those that are in child welfare that involves, you know, how do you bank, how do you get an ID, how do you plan a career, how do you plan going to school, those kinds of things. So in a way, yes. But I know what you're speaking of. I know we have some very successful programs, and maybe by helping with those prevention dollars, we may be able to do some amount of augmentation of the programs. But it's unfortunate that it has to come off of that list before we can use any kind of state or federal dollars. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. And what we like to do at this time is we do have a proclamation recognizing April 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. And we'd like to have you gather the team here for a photo op. And
Thank you.
as everybody gathers, I'd also like to ask if there are any members of the public that have anything they'd like to comment on regarding this matter. Seeing and hearing none, let's gather.
Thank you.
Thought I had something,
Name?
John Perro.
Okay.
In terms of, you mentioned, the question is, what can we do to help this situation? And one of the things that I've noticed is Madera or Mariposa County has a report that comes out weekly in terms of the people that have been arrested, what they've been arrested for, where they're located, and so forth, so that the community is aware of that. We don't have that in Madera County. I'd like to request or have a request that it could be funded for the sheriff's department to have the facility to actually put that report out there. So at least we're aware of, you know, who the bad people are in our community.
Right, great, thank you. All right, no more public comment. Let's go ahead and gather.
Public Health Department. National Public Health Week and Champions Award, presentation of a proclamation declaring April 1st through April 7th, 2024 as National Public Health Week, presentation of plaques recognizing winners of the 2024 Public Health Champions Awards.
Good morning. Here I am again, Sarah Ross, Public Health Director. Happy National Public Health Week. We are celebrating this week with a couple different things. Let's get the PowerPoint going here. First of all, as we've done for several years, we're going to be recognizing public health champions, both inside our department and from outside the department. We're going to be sharing some information with you this morning about some things that are happening in public health this week and some fun educational opportunities for the community. The first thing I'd like to do is just let the board know about what's going on with mobile health. As you know, since we purchased some mobile vans back in 2023, we've been out in the community doing lots of work. And one of the exciting developments are one-stop shops that have been happening since February of this last year. So our mobile team is partnering with lots of other agencies in the community and pulling things together. So in one place, typically in a location where residents have difficulty with transportation, everything from dental to food boxes, mental health screenings, wellness screenings, substance abuse support, insurance enrollment, Narcan distribution, syphilis and HIV testing. We just have lots of things going at these one-stop events. So far, we went to North Fork in January. There were 104 community members that attended, and there were 11 different partners that participated in that one. That was a great start, but in Fairmead, it ramped up from there, and there were 19 partners that participated in Little Fairmead. I saw pictures, and it was just this giant event. There were 140 community members that were served at that event. We're going to be in Lavinia in April, in North Fork in May, and we will reschedule the event that was scheduled and rained out in Oakhurst in March. So we're really excited about what's going on there. And our first public health champion, the reason I wanted to highlight that, comes from the success of our partners in working with mobile health. And so our public health champion for 2024 as a partner is Nancy Peters. Come on up, Nancy. Nancy is a longtime resident of Oakhurst, over 20 years. Come on over and join me, Nancy. She was nominated by the team that leads our mobile unit, Chris Jones and Aurelie Cruz, for her ongoing collaborating with mobile health events and in recognition of her outstanding collaboration and advocacy efforts with the unhoused and at-risk populations in Oakhurst. She's demonstrated dedication to overdose prevention, evidenced by her passionate advocacy for Narcan training and distribution, which has been remarkable. Her initiative in conducting training sessions at the West Side Family Preservation Center has been a beacon of hope for our mountain community. Staff said, Nancy goes above and beyond, not only in advocating, but also in acting as a champion for the community, forging close relationships with those at risk to aid in their journey towards employment, securing housing resources, coordinating comprehensive wraparound services. Her commitment to well-being of this population is evident in her meticulous follow-up efforts. Nancy has significantly assisted public health in reaching those with limited means in our mountain community, and we're honored to recognize Nancy as a 2024 Public Health Champion. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I am honored, y'all. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Supervisor, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, I can only imagine it wasn't hard to find Nancy when you folks got up there. So I do want to thank the team for reaching out and selecting Nancy as our public health champion. I think we've done a couple town halls in the past in regards to behavioral health services or homelessness services. And I think it was the Paros actually that reached out to me and said, well, you have to have Nancy there speaking because she knows everything that's going on in the community. And I think that's obviously why she was selected as the public health champion, because she's so involved in everything going on. She knows all the folks up there, and it really takes someone like Nancy to help folks that really need that extra hand up. So Nancy, thank you for all the work you do in our community. I really do appreciate it.
Next, we have our public health champions from inside the Department of Public Health. And this is a bit of an unusual selection for what we have honored in the past. But this is a team that works tirelessly in the background all the time. And so I'm really excited to name our public health champions for 2024 from within the department as our fiscal team. It is a 11-member. You can see them all lined up there, led by Sean Kirkpatrick and Richard Cause. They manage really complex budgets, really complex contracts. In fact, in public health, we have over 80 cost centers just for a department our size. That's over 40 grants. And since fiscal year 1920, our budget has increased by over $8 million. So those are new contracts, additional cost centers that have expanded. And a lot of that was due to COVID and a recognition that public health really needed to be expanded. And so it is my honor to name these individuals. Do we have, sorry, there's so many of them, I need help. So leadership in the fiscal team includes, as I said, Sean Kirkpatrick. Do you have something you'd like to say?
Only that it's never dull in fiscal, and public health is a great place to work. And I'm just really happy that the hard work of this entire team has really been able to, I believe, had a huge impact on supporting all the programs that our department has.
I just want to highlight that in recent times, we have been able to capture additional funding that was left on the table by other counties. And that is a direct result of the planning of our managers with this team working super hard. And so the second, our fiscal manager, Richard Cause.
Thank you so much.
And our senior analyst, Christian Coy.
Yeah, I just want to say it's been great working in public health. Been with Madera County 7.5 years, and all my time has been with public health. And it's been opportunities to go to other departments, but it's hard leaving these guys. So I really enjoy working with them.
And next is Brian Cochran, administrative analyst.
Thank you for the honor.
Jeanette Bull, administrative analyst.
Thanks for the
Administrative analyst Peggy Gunther.
I just want to say thank you, and I love.
Administrative analyst Christy Willett.
Thank you.
Administrative analyst Ashley Negretti. Ashley tackles payroll, and I just want to say the last couple of years of payroll, what a beast. She's amazing.
Thank you.
And Sherry Pentarelli. Oh, she's not here today. Congratulations, Sherry. Elisa Balios. So congratulations to our fiscal team. We really appreciate you. You are the engine in the background that's making everything run, and oftentimes making us look good while doing great work behind the scenes. So it's a wonderful pleasure to let you be front. Congratulations. And finally, we just want to highlight, a couple activities that are happening in Public Health Week. Yesterday, the California Health Collaborative did a Facebook Live with some resources for families, and especially how dads are important to families. Tonight, we have an event that is being sponsored by the NAACP and Behavioral Health Services around Black Lives, Black Lungs. The biotherapia, right? That's a fancy word for, I think, Zumba. But Zumba is copyrighted, so that's what that is. It's dance classes, Latin dance classes, and that's happening a couple different times. On Wednesday, we also have a couple different cooking classes, ones with toddlers and then with youth, partnering up with Parks and Recreation. And then Thursday, behavioral health is taking people through some deep breathing and relaxation exercises. That's the one I wish I could attend if I was in town. And Department of Public Health is following up with some sexual health awareness education, and it's an e-learning opportunity. So connect with our department about that. We have a special program right now that our staff went after in our communicable disease unit for a program that lets people do take-home tests for sexually transmitted diseases. That's really a cool program. It's unique to Madera. And so we encourage people, if they are interested, but they want to really have their privacy honored, they can contact our department and pick up a take-home test. It's really easy to get that screening and make sure that you're taking care of yourself. So happy National Public Health Week. Thanks for the time this morning.
Very good.
Thank you. And are there any comments from my colleagues? Great. Thank you for the presentation. Are there any comments from members of the public? Wait, don't go anywhere. Any comments from the public? Seeing and hearing none, let us all gather for a picture and also a presentation of the proclamation. And I'm going to ask all members of public health to join us. I see other people other than the award winners. So go from back here. Okay, thank you, everybody. Let's move on to item 6C.
County Administration, General Services Division, Bonadelli Ranchos Mutual Water Well. Discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution authorizing the application, acceptance, and execution for grant funding for the California Department of Water Resources for the Bonadelli Ranchos Mutual Water Well Replacement Project. Discussion and consideration of entering into an agreement in the amount of $180,000 with Bonadelli Ranchos Mutual Water Company to assist in facilitating the installation of a new well and authorize the chairman to sign.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. That's kind of loud. It's a follow-up item to your February 6th item where the board agreed that the county could act as a conduit granting agency for the Bonadelli Ranchos Mutual Water Company, which is an independent water company. However, they had run into issues related to their well. Their well had ceased to function properly, and the clients were all not being served by the local well. So in terms of how this worked out, we are the granting entity. However, we are not on the hook for this financially, as Bonadelli's Ranchos Mutual Water Company has agreed to apply with every requirement of the DWR grant, and that will mitigate the financial risk to the county. I don't know if there's any of the facts that you want me to go back through. I think this is the third time we've had an item related to this.
Very good. Any comments, questions from my colleagues? Seeing and hearing none. Are there any members of the public that have any questions regarding this item? In-house or online?
None online.
Well, we're bringing the item back for action.
I'll move to approve this item.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamhaugh?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley?
Yes.
Chairman Poitras?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to item 6D.
Human Resources Department, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution amending the salary and fringe benefits schedules to update the elected officials' salary schedule.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Roman Noriega, Human Resources. The item before you is to update the salary schedule for all elected officials' annual salaries based on the Superior Court judges' increases. Under the CalPERS publicly available pay schedules, or PAPS, and County Code 2.60.165, the updated salary schedule requires board approval. I'm available for any questions.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any questions from my colleagues? Are there any members of the public that wish to comment on this item, both here and online?
None online.
Online. Seeing and hearing none, I'll bring the item back for action.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamhaugh?
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Poitras?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Roman. 6E.
Public Works Department, Engineering Services Division, second reading to adopt an ordinance amending Chapter 2.18 of Title 2 of the Madera County Code relating to bidding procedures on public works projects.
Hey, good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Jared with Public Works. This is the second reading of the ordinance amendment to amend the chapter in County Code 2.18. And this will give us the ability to do full online bidding, solicitations, and receiving bids. And as I mentioned previously, we already have a system that we've looked at and are beginning and prepared to implement as soon as this becomes effective, which I believe is 30 days after this, if approved. I'm available for any questions.
Very good. Any questions of Jared? Are there any questions from the public?
None online.
Not online. Okay, very good. I'll bring the item back for action.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley?
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh?
Yes.
Chairman Poitras?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you. We'll move to item 7A.
County Administration Department, discussion and consideration to approve a letter of support for the Central California MCO tax pilot project proposal.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. This letter is to support a proposed pilot program that would bring more of the MCO tax dollars back into our part of the state to help encourage and supplement medical health people, both from the standpoint of providing a greater incentive to providers to take on and get their medical health folks into managed care plans, which comparatively speaking, 50% of the folks in our area are on Medi-Cal as compared to 40% statewide. So when the state re-implemented the MCO tax last year, it was our understanding that a significant portion of the MCO tax would go towards efforts of this nature. And it appears that the initial proposal from the DHSC is just to do a blanket $200 million fits all kind of program. We think that there's a better suggestion here in this pilot project, and we're just seeking the board's approval on this letter to be submitted.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions regarding this letter? Are there any members of the public that have a question regarding the proposed letter? If not, I'll bring the item back for action.
Move to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley?
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh?
Yes.
Chairman Porteous?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you. We'll move on to supervisor and staff reports. I'll start to my right. Supervisor Wamhoff.
This last week, we had a Measure T Town Hall at the Ranchos Library that was held on Tuesday. Had a pretty good showing from the community there. And the very next night held another town hall in Riverstone regarding their water quality, price, et cetera, just general questions from those who live in the Riverstone development and who belong to Root Creek Water District. And last night we held the Solid Waste Management Study Workshop at the Ranchos Library. And so more to come on that.
Very good. Thank you. Supervisor Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you. I'll be attending First Five tomorrow. Also just wanted to announce that on Friday, Madera Community College will be having an unveiling of some murals on their campus. I was able to see them last week, beautiful artwork. So that's Friday at noon. And then just wanted to share with the public that on Sunday, it's Cesar Chavez Day. It's celebrated by Madera Coalition for Community Justice. We'll be presenting a proclamation honoring former Supervisor Jess Lopez posthumously. Did I say that correctly? And so the public is invited to that. That's at Pan Am Center, and that is my report.
And
Very good.
Mr. Chairman, I
Mhm.
missed one thing as well. If I go back.
Sure.
Supervisor Gonzalez and I yesterday attended Commander Bill Ward's retirement from the sheriff's office after 28 years. It was good to hear some of the stories from him, not from him, but from others about him. And a lot of people don't know that he earned his PhD. So prior to today, he was Commander Dr. Bill Ward. So he has retired from the sheriff's office. We want to thank him for his commitment to this community and dedication to making sure all of us are safe here. And we enjoy the safety here in Madera County more than others around this state. So we're super thankful for the sheriff and all those who are in law enforcement in this county for the effort that they give us.
Very good. Thank you. And congratulations, Commander Ward, on your retirement.
That's Dr. Commander.
Doctor, yes,
Chairman.
yes.
Yeah, we do have a town hall on solid waste tomorrow at Oakhurst Elementary School at 5:30. Aside from that, nothing to report.
Very good. I'd just like to report that now it would be almost 2 weeks ago, Thursday and Friday, I had a chance to attend the California Transportation Commission meeting and make comment in regards to funding of roughly $105 million to finish Highway 99 between 12 and 7, as well as start the environmental work on SR 99 north of Madera to finish that section. We had anticipated opposition in regards to the what's known as the STIP funding. And there was opposition, but it was mainly focused on an interchange project south of Fresno. The good news is the STIP was approved. Our project can now move forward, as well as the interchange south of Fresno and many other projects that will better our valley, as well as the transportation and goods movement. And the second thing is I do have a question, and maybe staff can research this or take a look at this. I know that we have, but prior to be joining the Board of Supervisors back in the early teens and prior to our the change of guard at the auditor's office, we were way behind in our audited year-end statements. The good news is again, with our last auditor controller, we were able to catch up, and they were produced in a timely manner. And the good news is with that is we're able to qualify for grants that we wouldn't normally be able to qualify for. We can plan better for our budgets, and the list is long. And I was just wondering, from staff, maybe you could take a look into see when we might be able to take a or we might be able to see a completed audited 6/30/23 statement for those purposes that I had just mentioned.
We'll definitely look into that. We'll see if the auditor will be able to come down and give you a quick update on that.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you. So with that, I'll ask the CAO if he has any comments other than what we've discussed.
The only thing I had to add was last week I rolled over completing 20 years of living and working in California.
Excellent. Congratulations. Fantastic. Council.
I'm at 45 years. That's bad. No public comment. Thank you.
Clerk of the board.
Nothing to comment on. Thank you.
Hey, very good. And we still have business in closed session, so we will move there and so we can complete our meeting. Thank you, everybody, for being here.